Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the GRI 180-12-BLK, which is a recessed magnetic door, steel door, generally, this will be a steel door, not generally, contact. This is basically going to be a piece of equipment that you are going to install in a steel door and frame because of the design of how this is meant to snap into a hole that you'll drill to be able to report back maybe to a central desk or station to report back the condition of a door. It might permit you to, well, you can do a lot of things. It's a piece of hardware that runs on electricity that is always going to be used in a greater access control scenario where if you need to have the condition of a switch change, depending on door open or door closed position, this would be what you'd use. So you might use, obviously, if you have a monitoring station in a hospital, you'll see these all the time in hospitals, or a nursing home, assisted living. You want to report to someone that the door has been opened. You want to have an annunciator. You want to have a light. You want to have something else happen somewhere else, locking or unlocking something occur. All kinds of stuff. You could have a phone dialer call a number. All kinds of stuff. You'll see them in airport terminals all the time. Naturally, same scenario. You could have this. Used in a system where you have an electric deadbolt and you want to be able to have the door close. This switch will then start a timer, and at the expiration of the timer the bolt will re-engage. All kinds of stuff like that. So a door contact switch is important for all of those reasons. You might just use it for an alarm. If it's opening, boom, something's happening. Annunciator again. So this is black, closed loop type with 12-inch 22 gauge wire coming off, UL fire rated, UL 10C. So a closed loop type is going to be the system that you're dealing with. Which is going to translate to a normally open condition. So when you take the item out of the package, it's normally open, which means that the circuit will be normally open. And when the door is closed, obviously that will close the switch or the loop that you might need normally closed. So it's basically what happens when the door is open and what happens when the door is closed. You can have it where something is cut when the door is open, or you can have it where it's it would be normally closed when the door is open, so that when you close the door, now you have a normal, now it's open. Now the circuit is open, discontinuing, a path. So the discontinuation of the path can be when the door is ajar or when it's closed, and you have to know which way that your access control is going to work appropriately with that. You could have, this switch put a red light when a door is closed, and then when the switch changes state, it'll give you a green light, let's say, whatever the case is. There is a link below this video to a document called template. Could probably be better called data sheet. But it does tell you the size of hole that you're supposed to drill. This is a 3/4 inch diameter version. Okay, up to gaps of 1/2 inch. That's important to know. You need to make sure that you're, on a steel door and frame, you're not going to have a 1/2 inch or, greater gap. But on page 2 of that document, you're going to see the listing of all of the other part numbers. As it pertains to the electrical state, their condition. the maximum switching voltage, that's important to list there, the maximum initial contact resistance, the resistance in ohms, obviously, of what the electrical profile of the item is. You might need a single pole double throw switch. You might need to be able to communicate in two different ways rather than like a light switch. On, off, on, off. Well, this is a light switch, just on, off, right? You can have a single pole double throw or a double pole double throw where you've got two things happening at once. You might need to send it to an LED, and you might need to send it to an annunciator. You know, you might need to communicate to two different things. But that page 2 is helpful. It'll give you all the dimensional properties as well. Let's take a look at the item here. The overall diameter of the faceplate is just about an inch, 31/32. And they're going to want a 3/4 inch hole, I believe, for that. Yes, it does say that on the top of page 2. Put the caliper on this. 0.752. So a 3/4 inch hole is going to work sublime. These little tangs are going to press back and clamp over what you're installing it on. A very comprehensive provider of this type of material. There's a reed in here. A reed is a switch that moves based on magnetism. I'm not an expert on reed switches, but I know that's how they work. So that's handy to know that. It's a very mechanical, reliable, dependable type of switch. Finally, there is, and obviously, before I conclude, you know, different colors are certainly available on all of this material. But it's really more so the electrical configuration of what you're dealing with. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the GRI products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to their catalog that's there as well. They are a pretty comprehensive provider of this material, so if you're looking at very high quality yet low cost door contact switches, which you'll see all the time, especially with an armored door loop, or any other GRI product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.